All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bladensburg Town Council meeting for Monday, November 18th, 2024. We are now called to order. We'll begin tonight's meeting with an opening prayer by Councilmember McBride.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everyone that has been allowed to gather. I pray that we will be able to be blessed, that we will participate, and that everyone will be safe and keep us all together in unity and in strength. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Councilmember McBride. At this time, Chief, can we get one of the police explorers to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance since they're here with us tonight? Awesome. If you would please come to the podium and just push the button to turn on the mic.
So if everybody could rise, stand up. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, in liberty and justice for all.
And would you mind giving us your name before you exit, please?
My name is Explorer Altamirano.
Thank you, Explorer Altamirano. Excellent job. Beautiful. At this time, we'll proceed with the approval of tonight's agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any edits or clarifications or adjustments to the agenda? I note that Councilmember Brown will reverse the order on council reports, if
Okay.
that's okay?
Yes.
All right, perfect. And with that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it
Mayor.
be known by the,
Apologies,
Oh.
the 5-minute thing.
oh, yes, just for the benefit of the residents. So after the swearing in of the police officer, the council will call a 5-minute recess. That is just so we can hold and let everyone exit so we can continue on with the meeting, because sometimes it gets a bit loud as we wrap up and people are trying to exit the room. So we'll just do a 5-minute recess. Any other edits to the agenda? And thank you, Councilmember.
You're welcome.
All right, so with that, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known with the saying of aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. The agenda is approved. We'll begin tonight's presentation, starting with the Bladensburg Police Department, and call on Chief Tyrone Collington.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, community, colleagues. This is a pleasure and an honor for me to grow this police department with the proper leadership, the proper officers that we put into our community, because we want to make sure that we employ the best candidates that we put on our police department, because we want to make sure that everyone's rights, constitutional rights, are respected, and we have the best professionalism, dedicated officers, even from our young explorers back here. You saw when our explorer came up and did the Pledge of Allegiance, these guys just went through a summer camp, and when they came back, I tell you, I didn't recognize when they came back. They already feel like they are police officers now. So can we give our explorers a round of applause? I want to thank the command staff and our officers for always showing up and support. When we bring new officers in, we make them feel like they're part of the team, they're part of the family. So without further ado, we have the honor and distinct pleasure of swearing in tonight our newest officer, which is Kayon Johnson. Kayon Johnson comes to Bladensburg PD by way of Baltimore City Police Department, where he served faithfully in Baltimore City, the residents over there. And he came here, and I've never seen somebody as excited as Officer Johnson is. And we're glad to have him. He sat down with me. He told me what his ambitions are, and we want to help him succeed in achieving those goals that he shared with us during his interview. So without further ado, Officer Johnson, post. If I can have the mayor come down for the official swearing-in.
All right, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kayon Johnson, having been duly appointed as a police officer, effective October 21st, 2024, for the town of Bladensburg, do solemnly affirm that I will bear true allegiance to the United States of America, the state of Maryland, and the town of Bladensburg, that I will support the charter and laws of Prince George's County and the town of Bladensburg, and that I will obey the orders of the governor and the officers appointed over me according to the rules and regulations of the Bladensburg Police Department. I will, to the best of my skill, judgment, and ability, with diligence and faith, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of police officer for the town of Bladensburg, Maryland. Congratulations.
So I failed to mention that Officer Johnson has already started recruiting because he brought his young son with him and his lovely wife with him also, and she's going to be assisting me and pinning his badge on him. All right, thank you. Get a quick picture with this. So we do have refreshments, and you can take more photographs over in the annex. So we're live on council at this time. So thank you and congratulations. Welcome aboard. All right.
Thank you so much, Chief. And council, is there a motion to take a 5-minute recess as they exit? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? Okay, we'll just take a 5-minute recess to let them exit, and we'll be right back with the residents online.
Officer Johnson. Officer Johnson.
All right, good evening to our residents at home and that are with us in the room once again. We did just take a 5-minute recess, a brief recess, to allow the police department to exit after the swearing in of our newly sworn in officer, Kayon Johnson, who is now part of the Bladensburg Police Department. So with that, I'll call for a motion to move out of recess and back into our regular meeting.
I so moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. So in continuing with our agenda, the next presentation we have for tonight is from Ms. Renee Green for the Patriotic Committee report. And as you're coming to the podium, thank you for the beautiful job with Veterans Day last week. I don't know if you ordered or prayed for the sunshine and the weather, but it was a beautiful ceremony and beautiful weather.
It was the best day that I think we've ever had for any ceremony. It was just gorgeous. So good evening, Mayor James, council members and staff. I'm Renee Green, Patriotic Coordinator. Veterans Day was November the 11th, and it was very successful and beautiful day, like we just said. We also had an awesome guest speaker, Chief Collington, so thank you. Our next event will be Pearl Harbor celebration, and that will be on December 7th at 11 o'clock. Ethan Mendoza is doing his Eagle Scout project and is renovating the Pearl Harbor Memorial. And you can donate to this cause if you'd like. This memorial that he's doing, it's going to be fairly large, and I understand that it's 1,300 pounds. So it'll be on a like a pedestal, and then they'll have a really nice anchor. So it will not be available on Pearl Harbor Day, but probably in the spring, and we'll kind of maybe do some type of unveiling on Memorial Day. So Memorial Day is going to be Monday, May 26th at 11 o'clock. And this year, in 2025, the Peace Cross is going to be 100 years old. Hard to believe it's going to be 100 years old. And just one note with the Amen Trust, it's in part of the patriotic meeting, but if anyone's interested, and we have some 4 plots that we do have available at a very low cost, if anyone's interested in plots up at the Lincoln Cemetery, Fort Lincoln. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Any questions or comments for the Patriotic Committee report? Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Mayor James. Ms. Renee, I just want to say thank you for the great work that you're doing.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Councilmember Dixon. Councilmember McBride.
Ms. Renee, do you know the cost of the plots?
Excuse me?
Do you know the cost of the plots? Is there a cost attached yet?
Yeah, there is a cost. I'm not quite sure how much. They've had a lot of donations already, and then the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning has put up a large amount, but I think that they're still like short several $100s. So, I will get that extra information for you, and if anyone wants to donate the checks, I think the checks need to be payable to the Boy Scout or to Maryland National Capital Park and Planning, and I'm not sure about that. So, but I'll follow up with you on that.
Thank you.
And they have to be private donations. They can't be from a government.
Right. All the donations have to be private. They can't, they're not going to be able to have funding from other sources. It has to be private funding.
And again, this project was started by a young person who lives in Bladensburg. Former council member Chris Mendoza's son really took it upon himself to move this project forward and getting a more significant memorial for Pearl Harbor Day. So we are so proud of him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's done a great job.
Yeah, so Ethan, if you're watching, keep up the wonderful work. All right, thank you so much, Ms. Green.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, so that completes the presentations for tonight. So we'll move right into item 6, which is the approval of our meeting minutes. So we'll begin with the October 14th Town Council minutes and ask for a motion to approve. Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any corrections or edits to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Next, we'll proceed with the Town Council closed session minutes for October 21st. And on that day, pursuant to General Provisions, Article 3-305, Section B4 of the Maryland Code, the mayor and council met in a closed session to consider a matter concerning the proposal for a business organization to locate, expand, or remain in the state. And then secondly, we met under provisions, again, Article 3-305, this time Section B7 of the Maryland Code, where we met to consult with legal counsel. So with that, is there a motion to approve the closed session minutes?
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any edits or corrections to the minutes from the council? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. And then the next set of minutes we have are for the special town council meeting on October 24th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Dixon. Any edits or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you. The minutes are approved. Next, we'll proceed with public comments, and Town Clerk Watson, I believe you have the sign-in sheets.
Yes, we have two public comments. First person we have is Susan McClutchin.
Good evening, everyone. Susan McCutcheon, Spring Road. Well, to tell you the truth, if there were a movie being made about me right now, it would be called Bummed Out and Beyond, because I feel terrible about everything happening in this country. But one thing that's good to learn about is an organization that I've heard about on the Rachel Maddow show, because you know which way I lean right now. It's Indivisible, and everybody should look into it. They've been having meetings, and that they're indicating is if you're fighting something and if you're fighting a trend that you don't think is good and within the law and that kind of thing, it starts locally. And it starts with this person, that person, the other person getting together and banding together to fight something or to monitor something to find out if it's going the way you think is generally a good way to go in the country, locally, countywide, et cetera, in the country. And that's something we need to remember, because I don't know how many people are watching online. I don't know how many people watch it on Facebook, but we certainly don't have a packed council or town council meeting room, and that always disturbs me a bit. So at any rate, that's one thing. Now to the positive things. From the work session, I love that the work that is being done for flooding remediation, another promise being made that is following through. Takes a while, but it is following through. Because I just live up the street from a culvert, so I know how that is too. And also, I'm glad to see the acknowledgement of municipal government works. I was an administrator, an editor, et cetera, and they'd always say, oh, everything is so seamless, and it was hardly noticed. But that's what makes things work. And sometimes people don't notice. If it goes well, it's like, oh, it went well. If it goes badly, well, the staff didn't or someone didn't. But the fact is, administration is incredibly important. And also editing. It also helps a lot, too. People reading what you put out. That really helps. And the last thing is I really support Harriet Tubman Appreciation Month. I think it is wonderful to do that, and especially in light of the fact that the person being put up for the Secretary of Defense and others are trying to drum women out of the armed military, and to women and others, LGBTQ, et cetera, trying to drum everybody out. And if you think about it, look what Harriet Tubman did. Look what a lot of women have done. And just seems like it's a wonderful thing to say, and another thing to point out. And on top of that, Black and other history needs to be out there, needs to be seen, needs to be discussed, it needs to be heard. And unfortunately, that's another thing we have to band together to try to help to do that, because it seems like forces are going against history and important things that one learns from history. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. McCutcheon. At this time, we'll hear from our next resident.
And Mr. Steve Whites.
I'm Steve Whites. I live on Tilden Road. On May 1st, 2024, I sent an email to Purnell Hall and Public Works and reported street light across the street from my house was burned out at 5404 Tilden Road. Purnell immediately reported the burnout street light to Pepco and got a repair work order number 3717802. 5 months later, the street light was still not repaired. I reported this to the council members and town staff at the town hall meeting in September. Town staff contacted the Pepco representative for our town. Now, 7 months later, after it was first reported, the street light is still not repaired. Several neighbors have called Pepco, and Pepco said, yeah, we see the work order, but nothing has been done. They made no attempt to fix the street light. Tilden Road is a very busy street on a hill with a lot of traffic, emergency vehicles and trucks and buses. There are a lot of kids and pedestrians walking dogs, and now it gets dark at 5 p.m. So my block of Tilden Road is dangerous for pedestrians and traffic in complete darkness without a street light. Residents are very frustrated with Pepco refusing to repair the burnout street light. Many times a big SUV is parked on the street next to our driveway, so we slowly pull our car out of our driveway, and cars coming down the hill can see us, but we can't see them. They don't even slow down, and sometimes they'll speed up to get by before we pull out. So it makes it dangerous, especially when it's dark on the street there. And so I would encourage residents, if you see a burnout street light, please report it to Pepco or to the Bladensburg Public Works and help get it fixed so the streets will be safe once again. And Pepco refuses to apparently repair the burnout street light. And so I'm asking, can the town staff or town council contact our Prince George County representatives or maybe some state congressmen to get our street light fixed? We have been waiting 7 months now, and I'm wondering how much longer will it take to get one street light fixed. And thank you for any help you can provide to get our street lit again. Also, the stormwater drains get clogged up in our town with vines and trees and debris. So I would ask residents, if you see any clogged up culvert drains, please contact Public Works and let them know so they can be cleaned out. And leaves tend to wash downhill.
Mr. White, I'm sorry, that was your time with the
clog
buzzer
up the
there.
drains.
But did you provide a written copy of your remarks?
Well, that wasn't really for my public
Okay,
comment.
okay.
That was just information.
Okay, but we'll make sure we follow up with Pepco. I was looking for our contact as you were speaking because that is ridiculous, and I apologize that they are taking almost a year, it feels like, to fix one street light. That's pretty excessive, so we will definitely follow up with them.
And Mayor, if I do have a slight update, if you would, because we are working with them on street lighting, but when we were in the overall meeting that we had about a week ago, there were some issues with delays of some of the parts, and so some of it is because they are delaying some issues with having access to the parts, but we have been in contact with our Pepco representative, and we will continue and again to be in contact with them in regards to that light, because I've seen it personally and I've sent them several emails, but we'll send them again. But they did talk about there are some issues with replacing the ballasts because they are because of the change to LEDs. They are not making as many of the existing ballasts to change them. So we believe it might be a ballast issue. So that's what the issue could be associated with. But I will check in.
Thank you so much, Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth. So with those remarks, we are at the end of public comments for tonight's meeting. We'll continue on with unfinished business. The first item that we have is Ordinance 04-2025, which is an ordinance to enact the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget process for residents who follow the town regularly. Yes, this is extremely earlier than we normally put the schedule out for the budget planning process, but we're trying to improve operational efficiencies, do things further in advance, and so it's in the spirit of wanting to do that. I do recognize, because it has the full schedule in there, that it is lengthy, and I don't want to put the clerk through all of that. So I will ask for a motion from the council to have Town Clerk Watson to abbreviate the reading so that you don't have to read all the details, but you still hit the main points of the ordinance. Is there a motion? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions regarding the motion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it, just in time. 3 minutes. So with that, we'll turn it over to you, Town Clerk Watson.
Ordinance number 04-2025, an ordinance to enact the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget process and codify the town council and public participation process. Whereas the town of Bladensburg operates on an annual budget cycle that includes public engagement, review, and approval of its financial plans for the upcoming fiscal year. And whereas the town intends to formalize and streamline the budget process by enacting an ordinance that codifies the involvement of the town council and the public, providing clear timelines and processes for the review and adoption of the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. And whereas the town administrator is committed to presenting this structured budget schedule to enhance transparency, address budgetary concerns early, and ensure that the town's financial planning is comprehensive, efficient, and now therefore be it ordained by the mayor and council of the town of Bladensburg, Maryland as follows. Section 1, budget process and timeline. Ordinance introduction on November 18, 2024. Budget calendar finalization, December 9th, 2024. January 2025, budget review at the town council meeting on January 13th, 2025. Budget session number 1, town council budget and town events on February 18th, 2025. Budget session 2, introduction and public safety on March 10th, 2025. Budget session number 3, finance clerk and town administrator on March 18th, 2025 at a special council meeting. Budget number 4, special budget meeting, Public Works and Public Safety on April 1st, 2025 at another special council meeting. First reading of the budget ordinance on April 14th, 2025. The first tax rate and constant yield hearing on April 14th, 2025 or May 12th, 2025. Budget session number 5, at a special council meeting on April 29th, 2025. Proposed budget adoption, second reading on May 12th, 2025. Alternative budget adoption date will be on June 9th, 2025. Public participation, and it be further ordained that the town will ensure that the public notice is given for all budget meetings and hearings in accordance with the local and state laws, and all meetings will be open for public comment and participation to promote transparency and community involvement in the physical planning process. And it be further ordained that this ordinance shall take effect within 20 days of its passage. And it be further enacted and ordained that upon passage, this ordinance shall be authenticated by the signature of the mayor and the town clerk, and shall be recorded in a book kept for the purpose. In addition, this ordinance shall be published by posting a certified copy of it in the town hall for 10 days following its adoption pursuant to Article 2, Section 209 of the Charter of the Town of Bladensburg, and will take effect the November 18th of 2024.
Thank you so much, Town Clerk Watson. With that, council, is there a motion to adopt ordinance 04-2025?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Dixon. Any comments or questions regarding the ordinance? Again, thank you to the staff for getting us here earlier in the process and giving ample time and ample notice to the community. With that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The budget ordinance is passed, or the ordinance 04-2025. Next, we will proceed into financial business, and we'll turn it over to our town treasurer for an ARPA recap. Let's see if he gets the 3 minutes alert.
I turned the volume down, so. What town administrator is going to share is where we are through the ARPA program. Just a brief recap, 2.5 years ago, I believe, where we were awarded $4.9 million to be expended or pledged to use by December 31st, 2024. We are at, we spent 86% of the grant right now, and almost a third of that's gone to compensation. Almost half has gone to community assistance, and the other has gone to capital and other funds. But the remaining 14%, which we need to expend or have a plan for by the end of December is listed here. It's 6 items. We have the holiday food assistance, which includes the Thanksgiving and Christmas food giveaways, the community events that we've already paid for between the police department and the town events, such as the fireworks events and all the events that are very heavy in the summer and in the fall to offset those expenses. $10,005 for employee recognition. The big one there is a flood project for the county, which we heard in the work session. And also a small part there of $11,250 for the planning and engineering. And also what we talked about in the work session too is replacement of the, to offset the cost of the 4 police vehicles that have been totaled due to accidents this year. And those are still pending insurance settlements, but we need to go ahead and replace those vehicles now to get them back in the fleet. So, and that will get us to just over $700,000, which will expend the ARPA funds. And you can see what that does to our total use of the funds there. Just over a quarter of it will be used for total compensation, 40% for total assistance, 28% for capital. And the capital included the ambulance for the fire department next door, vehicles, computers, and other one-time large capital expenditures, and a small amount there for other, such as supplies and everything during the post-pandemic. So, and that's the plan that we have to spend by the 31st.
So you summarized that as if it was just a breeze. There has been so much work over these last few years in managing these ARPA funds, from the rental assistance, housing assistance, utility assistance applications, from helping us to get things together for food assistance. And for the residents, we don't have a large administrative team. Our largest department is police department. And so to have the bulk of these funds being processed and tracked and making sure that they went where the council dictated that they should go is just remarkable. And to do it in only a couple years, it's not like we have 5 years to do this on top of everything else. So just a heartfelt note of gratitude to everyone. And to all the directors, appreciate your partnership in coming up with ideas to use the resources to help the community. So whether it was Chief with the trauma kits and the training and making sure that those got distributed to all the schools in this sad case that there is a school shooting. I mean, the foresight that everyone took to make sure that these resources were allocated appropriately is something that I'm personally grateful for, and want to thank the council, the department heads, and really all of our staff who had a hand in helping us use these resources for our community. So my hat goes off to everyone. And I will say, it was tricky in the beginning because the initial notice said we were getting a bit more. And then maybe 2 months later, it was like, oh, now it's cut to 4.8, 4.9. But even still, I mean, I think that we used the funding as best as we possibly could and helped as many people as we possibly could. So again, thank you to everyone. So next on the agenda, we're under, oh, sorry, Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Mayor James. Mr. Vito, regarding I see where you have Capitol Police and Capitol Others. Do you mind just explaining the Capitol Others, just in case, or a resident might what is Capitol Others?
Sure, that was for the ambulance chassis and box for the fire department
Okay.
next door. That was the town bought that, and then as soon as it was completed, we granted them the vehicle. So, and that was and the fire department said it's the first time the town has ever purchased a piece of apparatus for the volunteer fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Vito.
Thank you for the question. Any other questions before we move forward? All right. So the next item we have is Budget Ordinance 05-2025, and this is for the Department of Justice COPS funding grant. And so I'll turn it over to our clerk. We did discuss this at length in the work session. So Madam Clerk, if you wouldn't mind reading the ordinance.
Absolutely. Ordinance number 05-2025, fiscal year 2025, budget amendment for the acceptance of the U.S. Department of Justice COPS grant funding. An emergency ordinance to amend the operating budget of the town of Bladensburg, Maryland for the 2025 fiscal year, July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Whereas the town administrator of the town of Bladensburg has made a recommendation to the mayor and the council to amend the FY 2025 budget to reallocate funds as part of the fiscal year, and whereas the town has received the Department of Justice COPS grant for $1,625,000 with the amount to receivable of $625,000 over 5 years to assist in the funding and hiring of 5 new officers over the next 2 to 3 fiscal years. And whereas the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg have determined that it is in the best interest of the town to pass this as a budget amendment ordinance at the November 18, 2024 town council meeting. Now therefore being enacted and ordained by the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg that the following amendments are made to the general operating budget for fiscal year 2025 for the initial hiring of 2 new officers in the second half of FY 2025 to start expenditures related to grant requirements. 1, increase compensation expense for the police department of $125,000 for 2 new police officers' salaries, and 2, increase revenues for grants $125,000 to offset expenses related to the hiring of 2 new officers. Overall budget impact up to $125,000. And be further enacted and ordained that upon passage, this ordinance shall be authenticated by the signature of the mayor and the town clerk and shall be recorded in the book kept for that purpose. In addition, this ordinance shall be published by posting a certified copy of it in the town hall for 10 days following its adoption pursuant to Article 2, Section 209 of the Charter of the Town of Bladensburg, and will be effective the 18th day of November 2024.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for the reading of the ordinance. Council, is there a motion to approve Budget Ordinance 05-2025? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions from the council, or did the staff want to add any more comments to the record? All right. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. The budget ordinance passes. Next, we'll proceed with Budget Ordinance 06-2025, which is to accept the Maryland Smart Energy Communities FY 2024 grant program of $100,000. So back to you, Clerk Watson.
Ordinance number 06-2025, fiscal year 2025, budget amendment of the Maryland Smart Energy Communities FY 2024 grant program of up to $100,000, total grant $400,000. An emergency ordinance to amend the operating budget of the town of Bladensburg, Maryland for the 2025 fiscal year, July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Whereas the town administrator of the town of Bladensburg has made a recommendation to the mayor and town council to amend the FY 2025 budget to reallocate funds as part of the fiscal year, and whereas the town has received the Maryland Smart Energy Communities FY 2024 grant program of $100,000, total grant $400,000, and whereas the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg have determined that it is in the best interest of the town to pass this as a budget amendment ordinance at the November 18, 2024 town council meeting. Now therefore be enacted and ordained by the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg that the following amendments are made to the general operating budget for fiscal year 2025 for the Phase 1 project of construction of a green project energy audits for the Portstown. One, increase capital projects expense for public works, $100,000, for the construction of green-related projects, energy audits for the Portstown. And two, increase revenues for grants, $100,000, to offset expenses related for the construction of green-related projects and energy audits for the Portstown. Overall budget impact, $100,000. And be further enacted and ordained that upon passage, the ordinance shall be authenticated by the signature of the mayor and town clerk and shall be recorded in the book kept for that purpose. In addition, this ordinance shall be published by the posting a certified copy of it in the town hall for 10 days following its adoption pursuant to Article 2, Section 209 of the Charter of the Town of Bladensburg, Maryland, and will be effective the 18th day of November 2024.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. With that, the hearing of the reading, is there a motion to adopt Budget Ordinance 06-2025?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions from the council? Any additional information from the town? I know Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth has put in a lot of work here, and we're excited about the cooling shelters that will come from this and other green infrastructure. So thank you for your help in securing the funding. And with that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. The ordinance passes. Next, we'll proceed to Budget Ordinance 07-2025. This is a budget ordinance to amend the FY 2025 budget for the acceptance of the 2022 state and local cybersecurity grant program award for $22,500. And we did discuss this during the work session as well. So for any residents who want to go back and read the discussion, please, or view it, sorry, not read it, view it, view the recording. Please take the time to do that. At this time, I'll call for a motion to approve Budget Ordinance 07-2025.
So move.
Moved by Councilmember Brown, seconded by Councilmember Dixon. Any comments, questions, or feedback from the council?
Mayor, I do have to read the ordinance.
Oh, sorry, moving too fast.
Okay.
So
Or
we'll
you got to
pause.
prove it.
Yes, we'll pause. We do need that, don't we? Rolling along.
It's okay. We can skip it, but I
I
can't.
know, we can't do that. No.
An emergency ordinance to amend the operating budget of the town of Bladensburg, Maryland for the 2025 fiscal year, July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Whereas the town administrator of the town of Bladensburg has made a recommendation to the mayor and town council to amend the FY 2025 budget to reallocate funds as part of the fiscal year. And whereas the town has received the 2022 state and local cybersecurity grant program award for $22,500 for cybersecurity improvement, and whereas the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg has determined that it is in the best interest of the town to pass this as a budget amendment ordinance as at the November 18, 2024 town council meeting. Now therefore being enacted and ordained by the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg that the following amendments are made to the general operating budget for fiscal year 2025, purchase and deployment of cybersecurity software for the town. 1, increase information technology expenses for the police department by $22,500 for the purchase and deployment of cybersecurity software for the town. And 2, increase revenues for grants, $22,500 to offset expenses related to purchasing and deploying cybersecurity software for the town. Overall budget impact of $22,500. And be further enacted and ordained that upon passage, this ordinance shall be authenticated by the signature of the mayor and town clerk and shall be recorded in the book kept for this purpose. In addition, this ordinance shall be published by posting a certified copy of it in Town Hall for 10 days following its adoption pursuant to Article 2, Section 209 of the Charter of the Town of Bladensburg, and will be effective the 18th day of November 2024.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And with that, any discussion from the council regarding the resolution, ordinance 07-2025? We did discuss it, as I mentioned earlier, in the work session, and this will really make a difference in helping us shore up our IT and cybersecurity efforts. And Chief brought up a great point, too, that the funds can be used for things that we've already covered as far as cybersecurity goes, so it can reimburse the town for those expenses. But any comments or questions from the council? All right, hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The ordinance passes. Madam Clerk, would you please read Budget Ordinance 08-2025?
Absolutely, Mayor. Ordinance number 08-2025, fiscal year 2025, a budget amendment for the acceptance of the SFY 25 Edward J. Byron Memorial Justice Assistance Award Program for $40,000. An emergency ordinance to amend the operating budget of the town of Bladensburg, Maryland for the 2025 fiscal year, July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Whereas the town administrator of the town of Bladensburg has made a recommendation to the mayor and council to amend the FY 2025 budget to reallocate funds as part of this fiscal year, and whereas the town has received the SFY 25 Edward J. Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Award Program, and whereas the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg have determined that it is in the best interest of the town to pass this as a budget amendment ordinance at the November 18, 2024 town council meeting. Now therefore be it enacted and ordained by the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg that the following amendments are made to the general operating budget for fiscal year 2025, purchase and deployment, fiscal year 2025, purchase deployment of cybersecurity software. Oh, I think that is wrong, right? No. Operating budget for fiscal year, for acceptance of, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so acceptance of the Edward J. Bryan Memorial Justice Assistance Burnt Grant. One, to increase software expenses for the police department for $40,000 for purchase and, this one's on? That's right. Okay, software purchase and deployment of cybersecurity software for the town. And two, to increase revenue for grants of $40,000 to offset expenses related to purchasing and deployment of cybersecurity software for the town. Overall budget impact is $40,000. And be further enacted and ordained that upon passage, the ordinance shall be authenticated by the signature of the mayor and town clerk and shall be recorded in a book for that purpose. In addition, this ordinance shall be published by posting a certified copy of it in the town hall for 10 days following its adoption pursuant to Article 2, Section 209 of the Charter of the Town of Bladensburg, Maryland, and will be effective the 18th day of November 2024.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there a motion to approve Budget Ordinance 08-2025?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember McBride. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions from the council? I do just want to say it, for the residents who may not be familiar with the Edward J. Byrne Memorial Justice Award, this is really an honor to receive these funds. This young man was a New York City police officer, and he was killed in the line of duty in his early 20s. While sitting in a police cruiser, he was ambushed. And the fact that that happened in Chief, the 80s, I believe, and we're now in 2024, his memory is still being kept alive with this type of funding, helping communities just like ours to improve our public safety. And so sometimes when you hear the names of these awards, they don't really mean anything, but this one is truly meaningful when you think about this man paying the ultimate sacrifice at such an early point in his career, and how his colleagues and family have kept his memory alive by helping communities like Bladensburg. So just wanted to note that for the public. From the staff, any other comments or questions before the council votes on this? I saw you going for the mic.
I was, because I just wanted to make sure that for a technical, from the standpoint that it will go for general software instead of the two lines reading cybersecurity, that it would fund software and or license plate readers, if the council would take that friendly amendment to both those line items, to give us the flexibility to do both. Because
Yes.
I believe the chief mentioned that we will be looking at license plate readers or using it for existing software. So they are both software grants. So we would either fund existing software with it, which would help us to expend the grant quicker, which Mr. Tonelli would like, but the chief also needs license plate readers. So we will bring a future item to the council in regards to license plate readers if it does fit into that particular budget line item. So to give us maximum flexibility, I'd ask that the council amend the document accordingly.
Yeah, so in the line now, now therefore be it enacted and ordained, we would just want it to say for fiscal year 2025 for purchase
And
of LPOs and/or software. Is that amendment okay with the council? And we did discuss that in the work session, those two specific uses. So yeah, thank you for making sure that was part of this. And so with that, I will call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The budget ordinance passes as amended. And we'll move on now to new business to item 10A, which is the resolution 08-2024 to acknowledge, for the town of Bladensburg to acknowledge November as Harriet Tubman Appreciation Month. And just bring up my notes here. The reason for wanting to have the town council make this special recognition was in light of the fact that many times, as I said in the work session, when we hear about Harriet Tubman, it's in regards to her escape from slavery to the North, or it's in regards to her involvement in the Underground Railroad, helping slaves have safe passage from enslaved plantations into the North. And for the first time last Monday, which was Veterans Day, Ms. Tubman was actually acknowledged by the Maryland National Guard and Maryland Governor Wes Moore. She was born Araminta. Her nickname was Minty Ross. And the thing that's so remarkable about her is sometimes you hear these historical figures and you think you've heard their story 1,000 times and you know all about them. But what was so unique about last Monday, Veterans Day, is that she was honored for being a scout, a spy, a nurse, and an advocate in the Civil War. And so Major General Janine Burkhead, who's the commanding officer for the Maryland National Guard, hosted this ceremony where posthumously Ms. Tubman was made a one-star general for her efforts, because what a lot of people don't know is because of her efforts in the Civil War, she helped approximately 700 people escape slavery, many of whom fought in the Civil War for the Union. And so, again, sometimes we hear stories about these historic figures and we think we've grasped them in totality. And I was so moved by hearing more about her military service and her being honored in recognition of Veterans Day, when typically you don't hear women being honored for their service. And so just thought it would be fitting for the council to, again, make November Harriet Tubman Month in honor of her service to our nation and to the state of Maryland. And so with that, we have Resolution 0-2025, and I'll turn it over to our town clerk for the reading of the resolution.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 08-2025, resolution of the town of Bladensburg acknowledging Harriet Tubman Appreciation Month, November 2024. Whereas the town of Bladensburg recognizes the extraordinary contribution of Harriet Tubman, a pioneering figure in the fight for freedom, justice, and equality, whose legacy continues to inspire generations of Marylanders and people worldwide. Whereas Harriet Tubman's courage, determination, and lifelong dedication to liberating others has left an indelible mark on the history of Maryland and the United States. Whereas on November 11, 2024, Governor Wes Moore and the Maryland National Guard honored Harriet Tubman's legacy through a posthumous commission as a one-star general, recognizing her as a symbol of leadership, resilience, and sacrifice in the cause of freedom. Whereas the state of Maryland has designated November 2024 as a Harriet Tubman Appreciation Month, providing an opportunity for communities across the state to celebrate her life, honor her memory, and promote the values she upheld. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Bladensburg formally acknowledges November 2024 as Harriet Tubman Appreciation Month, celebrating her enduring impact on our community, state, and nation. Be it further resolved that the Town of Bladensburg encourages residents to learn about, honor, and uphold Harriet Tubman's legacy, as her courage and commitment to justice continue to serve as a guiding light. Be it further resolved that this resolution be and is hereby adopted the 18th day of November 2024 and shall take effect immediately upon its adoption.
Thank you so much, Town Clerk Watson. With that, is there a motion to approve Resolution 08-2025.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any further comments or questions regarding the resolution from the council? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much, council, for your support of that resolution. And also, in the spirit of recognition, we also want to recognize that November is Maryland Municipal Government Works Month. This is an effort being highlighted and celebrated by Maryland Municipal League, where we want to really honor all municipal government employees for the hard work that they do each and every day. And so with that, Madam Clerk, would you mind reading resolution dash 2025?
Of course, Mayor. Resolution number 09-2025. A resolution recognizing Municipal Government Works Month for November 2024. Whereas the town of Bladensburg, along with municipalities across Maryland, celebrates Municipal Government Works Month in November, as encouraged by the Maryland Municipal League, and whereas the town of Bladensburg acknowledges the essential role of municipal government in providing vital services to residents, supporting the local economy, enhancing public safety, and promoting community well-being, and whereas the contribution of our municipal workforce have been instrumental in advancing the goals of the town, including maintaining infrastructure, providing public safety, fostering economic development, and ensuring environmental sustainability. And whereas this month is an opportunity to recognize the Maryland Municipal League and its support for Maryland's municipalities by fostering collaboration, professional development, and advocacy for the interests of the local government. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Bladensburg formally celebrates Municipal Government Works Month, acknowledging the dedication, professionalism, and commitment of municipal employees in serving and strengthening our community. And further be resolved that we recognize and commend the Maryland Municipal League for its continued support and advocacy for municipalities across the state, contributing to local government's effective operation and advancement. Signed this 18th day of November 2024.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 09-2025? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions regarding the resolution? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much, team, for celebrating Municipal Government Works. And thank you to our team for all the hard work you do day in and day out. We can't say enough about all of our team members in the town of Bladensburg, from Public Works on down, administrative team. You guys make it happen, so thank you so much for all you do. The next item we have is the contract approval for EcoSite. So Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth, will turn it over to you.
Hi, Mayor and Council. It's not one where the poor town clerk has to read. I don't miss reading all these. Thank you, Regine. So I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just have all this extra time here. But I wanted to just mention, so this is a contract with EcoSite LLC. They are an engineering and architectural firm that will help the town in regards to getting grants for this Chesapeake Bay Trust, which is due in early December. And this will allow us to do rain gardens. I want to say storm gardens, rain gardens in 2 locations. So I had asked for the town asked the town council to approve this. They have contracts with the town of Edmonston and Colmar Manor, which are similar in scope, and they previously worked with the town on these matters, especially in regards to the Chesapeake Bay. Thank you.
Thank you, Town Administrator. I appreciate how you just did that quickly. You're like, I'm not reading anything, no ordinances, all in one, done and done. Bam, hit the mic. No, it's fine. I've said it in the work session, but I'm just over the moon about finally getting to the point where we're getting some of these rain gardens around our community so we can add that to our America in Bloom applications and our Sustainable Maryland points, and really show we're not giving lip service to sustainability. We're really investing in it. So appreciate all your work on this. With that, is there a motion to approve the contract for EcoSite? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions regarding the contract? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. The contract for EcoSite is approved. Yay. All right, and now, continuing with contract approvals, we want to follow up on the item we discussed in the work session regarding conduit, which was previously, or more recently purchased by Modaxo, the automated speed enforcement cameras. So I'll turn it over to Chief and/or Town Administrator for a quick synopsis of that. You guys have to arm wrestle over the.
So Mayor, Council, this is an attached contract with Modexo, which is a amendment to our current contract. As you mentioned, the previous contractor conduit was bought out by Modexo about a year ago. This actually rectifies an issue in regarding the contract so that they can, so that we can pay for the rental of the speed cameras, as well as extends their contract to December of 2025. I'm asking for approval with the attorney's input in regards to the addendum, because we are still negotiating this with the company. And what she wanted us to do, from transparency's sake, is to notice the council and the public that the contractor had changed and that we are asking for this year. So those are the two key provisions that we need your approval on. And the rest of them are, in some ways, in regards to, like, if we decide to expand or doing those kinds of things, those are administrative. But we wanted to make sure to get your approval on that, because it does exceed my purchasing authority to amend that contract to pay someone differently for those services.
Thank you for that synopsis, Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth. Are there any questions regarding the agreement, Councilmember Brown?
Thank you. And Mrs. Bailey Hedgepeth, can you just, just so that it's more clear to the residents that the change was because the ownership changed, switched over, right?
That is correct, Councilwoman, that conduit was purchased by Modexo, and so in order to formally do business with the new company, we need to amend our contract with them and amend the information. Yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, any other questions from the council? With that, is there a motion to approve the town administrator, or authorize the town administrator to proceed with signing off on the amendment for Modexo automated speed enforcement?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any further comments or questions regarding the agreement?
Mayor, as a point of clarification, it's either myself or you, because you're currently noted as the signer, so either one of us, but I just wanted to make sure the council also gave you that same permission, Madam Mayor.
Is the council okay with that amendment? So either the TA or myself would sign off on it, on the agreement? Okay. All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
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 Any nays? The ayes have it. We are authorized to proceed with the addendum. Thank you for the work, getting that together, team. And then talking about vehicles, New Holland Auto Group. Turn it back over to either chief or town administrator.
I believe again that the chief can talk about the need and I can talk about the funds.
He was leaning in, he was ready.
Yes, so good afternoon again, Mayor, Council, colleagues, community. So this is to ask the council to approve the contract. We've already been doing business with New Holland off the state contract, but we did have 4 vehicles that were damaged, 2 at fault, 2 not at fault. So we're just asking for the council's approval to get the replacement vehicles. And I believe that Vito might talk about the purchase of it, the $187,000 of the remainder of the ARPA funds.
Chief, that was a nice layup to Mr. Tonelli.
It's soft layup.
He may want to say something.
That was a nice handoff. As Chief said, this is to replace current fleet. This isn't to current fleet of vehicles are damaged. This doesn't include what we have in the budget for FY25 for replacement of aging vehicles. But in this process, when vehicles get damaged, it goes through a litigation process, claims process. There's a lag time between when we actually get a full settlement for each vehicle. But we need the vehicles now. We're anticipating probably about a third of it, at least a third averaged out, will be reimbursed to us. I honestly have no idea yet. It depends what they come back with, but that's why, to help offset that, that's why we put the $122,000 in for the use of the ARPA funds to $106,000 to offset this.
That is helpful to know. Anything else, Town Administrator? Like, is Vito tossing it to you? Okay.
I'm just the veto whisperer in that one, sorry.
Understood. All right, so is there a motion from the council to authorize staff to purchase 4 vehicles in the amount not to exceed $187,878 from New Holland Auto Group? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Brown. Any further comments or questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. All right. So we have now come to staff reports. And we cannot get enough of finance, Mr. Tonelli. So if you wouldn't mind kicking us off with staff reports, we would just love it.
And you guys 3 minutes.
Sure, I'll cut this down to a minute if possible.
If possible.
If possible, yeah. I know, I was like, y'all kill me, but just kidding. Yes. I did a full written report. We're only through October here. It's a third of the month, and I did a quick snapshot, a quick dashboard of where we are with a summary of the revenues and a summary of the departments. Remember, like, the goal here is 1/3 of the year. So almost 1/3 of the revenues have been received. All the departments are at or below that 1/3 point in the year, with the exception of the larger ones, like the long-term capital projects. But the total expenses are under budget through October right now. Again, it's fairly early in the fiscal year, and these will drastically change over the next 2 or 3 months when we come back with our half-year financial report at the January Mayor and Council meeting. That's all I have, unless there's any questions.
I'm about to pass out. Really?
I
That's
know.
it? I thought you were kidding. I thought you were kidding. But no, do appreciate just the pulse check in terms of understanding when the first tranche of property taxes come in. Usually they hit October, so it's good to see that we're in a good place with that first wave of the property tax notices being sent out and the collecting of those funds. And then most of us, at least on the county side, they hit us in, September, and then one more time in December. So yeah, I think we'll get the next wave of those payments first of the year, which will hopefully help us have a better picture of where we're going to end up revenue-wise from the property taxes. And the increase to the utilities that impacted CSX, I think the council took a bold move there, and it is helping us to generate some additional tax revenue. It's not huge, but
it's helped. The assessments have come in for the railroads and the utilities, and because we went from that 2.09 to 2.75, it is noticeably increased, which helps.
Good. Yeah. That's good to hear. So thank you and the team for all your work on the financial front. So next, we will pivot over to public safety. Chief Collington.
Thank you again, Mayor, Council. I think I will forego my report this. It's been submitted. I would just get into code enforcement since Mr. Reinhardt couldn't be with us this evening. So I'll read his report instead of mine. Highlights for code enforcement for the month of October. There were 6 bulk trash reminder notices issued to residents for heavy trash at the curb. Code enforcement removed 50 signs from poles, 20 from right-of-ways. Total signs removed year-to-date, 786. There were 10 abandoned vehicles in the residential area, 4 in the business area, 3 in the apartment areas, 3 were impounded. Year-to-date, they have impounded 219. No, that can't be right. Year-to-date, we have had 219 vehicles, abandoned vehicles, and 28 vehicles that have been impounded. That was right. There were 0 grass violation notices issued. Code enforcement received 2 graffiti complaints. Other code enforcement activities, code enforcement received 1 citizen concern through the GoGov My Bladensburg app, assisted a resident that had 2nd-degree burns on his hands from a small fire on Edmiston Road, assisted with trunk-or-treat setup, assisted with anti-bullying walk, assisted with the Blade Fest, attended Coffee with a Cop, assisted with the candlelight vigil, and code supervisor Reinhardt and staff attended the following meetings: council work session, council meeting, department supervisors meeting, senior staff meetings, legislative community meetings. And I just want to end with the month of October was also Breast Cancer and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So that will conclude my report. And I just do want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Have a safe and enjoyable Thanksgiving with your family.
Thank you so much, Chief. And I know you submitted your full written report with numerous events, many of which were captured by the code enforcement report. But definitely want to thank you and the team for the continued diligence in keeping the community safe, particularly given the comments we heard at last month's meeting about vehicle theft concerns. And then also knowing we're going into the holiday season. For residents, you may not notice this, and you probably shouldn't, but what typically happens this time of year is Chief Collington and the leadership in the PD, and they beef up the schedule of officers, many of whom are plainclothes. The reason for that is because the days get shorter. People are doing holiday shopping, coming home with packages after dark. And so them being able to be in the community, sometimes when you don't even know they're out there, is so helpful in really preventing a lot of crimes that could be crimes of opportunity. So thank you. I know we're going into that season with Black Friday being next week Friday. So yeah, we're there. We are there. So thank you. Next, we'll proceed on with the report from our town clerk.
Just a few highlighted things from my published monthly report. The clerk's department is currently working on a records retention schedule that we haven't worked on, I guess, in the town since 1976. So we're looking to upgrade this. It's a project, but it will be good for us, and we'll bring up our records retention schedule, and hopefully have it up soon in a couple of months, and then we'll also have to bring it to the council for approval. We're currently still working with our Board of Supervisors of Elections to finalize the judge's manual, and we're hoping to have at the next council meeting an update from the Board of Supervisors on the judge's manual. Just a reminder, we're still looking for volunteers for both the Board of Supervisors election and Ethics Commission for the 2025 town election. Appointments need to be made by the council by February of 2025. So if you're interested, or if anybody knows, please send them to the clerk's department or have them call us or send their resumes in, because we need to bring volunteers to the council by February for the 2025 election. Other than that, I attended my first MML conference November 6th to the 8th, and it was a very great, informative conference, and I look forward to attending future ones in the future. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Town Clerk, for that detailed report. And you clearly have hit the ground running, so we thank you for that. The Public Works report is in our council packets. I know Mr. Hall is not here, but again, want to thank him and his team for all the work that they do and always being there for us, no matter what the requests are, they always show up. Next, we'll go to the Town Administrator report.
Well, I'm going to use my time to talk about the Public Works report really quickly because there are some upgrades that have happened around the town hall. Even though we're trying to do a new town hall, Purnell and his team did work on fixing some fascia repairs and some painting in the month of October, and actually use their carpentry skills, which is in your report, which I thought was really nice. And the other thing is that they've been working on the 57th Avenue lighting project, which is being funded by DCHD, and that we've gotten additional funding for phase 2 from the county for an additional $180,000 so that we can do the next set of 10 lights in the spring. And the other thing I just wanted to highlight is that him going, Purnell going to the America in Bloom has really kind of changed the way he's looking at beautification. And I'm really proud of him for that. And I really wanted to just note that on the record because he's really stepped it up on a lot of the areas around town and has been trying to make sure that we have seasonal plants and actually kept some of the plants that are perennials through the winter, which has been very good so that we have the fill-in as we move on. So I just wanted to say that, and my report from the town administrator is also attached, along with an update on the Boswick House, which is moving along, and a copy of the flood mitigation project. So those two are also included as part of my reports. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Excellent. Thank you so much for giving the Public Works report and agree with the shout out for Mr. Hall. It is great to see his enthusiasm using what he learned from the trip to Ohio for America in Bloom. Yeah. And next we will transition on down to Mayor and Council reports, beginning with Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Mayor James. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good evening, staff and chief. Good evening, residents. My report's going to be really short. I attended 2 conferences, National League of City Conference and MML, which was really informative, PGCMA meeting, and Veterans Day ceremony. I want to shout out to the Prince George's County Fire Department, Prince George's County Ambulance Department, rather. I had a situation at my house this morning at 4 a.m. in the morning, and they came and they did an amazing job. So I just want to say kudos to them, and that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Dixon. We'll stick with Ward 1 with Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, hello to our residents, staff. I do want to just give our staff another round of applause because we really do have an amazing team. I mean, you all are here every day making it happen. So we really appreciate it. Can't say that enough. And then also, we all know that it's daylight savings time. So as the mayor was saying, just make sure that you're careful and that you're always alert and just paying attention to your surroundings. And talking about the beautification, I tell you what, those Bladensburg signs, those welcome to Bladensburg signs, they are just like so beautiful, and the little planting around them and everything. So we see the beautification going on and continuing. Yeah, and it's very, you're welcome. It's very, very nice. I want to talk about the Bladensburg Day. Oh my gosh, the Bladensburg Day, that parade, it was very, very nice. So all the participants and the planning of the Bladensburg Day. So it was beautiful. And I got a chance to carry the Bladensburg flag. We were walking kind of fast because we did 1.4 miles in how many minutes?
20 minutes.
In 20 minutes. Bladensburg. We're going to play with Bladensburg Hills. Yes, that was, yeah, and we realized that was pretty fast because the mayor and I, we were like looking at each other like, oh, okay. So, but it was such a wonderful parade, and I'm sure that next year it's going to be even bigger and better than this year. Also attended the MML conference. The Anacostia Watershed Society, they had a boat tour here in Bladensburg in October. I was supposed to attend it, but I didn't. But I just want to thank them for coming to Bladensburg and coming just doing another boat tour in the town of Bladensburg. Also, we had a fall meeting with our legislators, so that was a great meeting as well because we're always welcoming the collaboration and the partnership with our legislators so that we can continue to get things done because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help to legislate. Well, of course, in October was Domestic Violence Month as well. So that's pretty much my report. And just want to say again to residents as well, Happy Thanksgiving. Have a safe one. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown, for that report. Next, we'll move over to Ward 2, beginning with Councilmember McBride.
Say thank you to our staff. Thank you for all your help. I guess I'm like the little baby. You need to hold my hand every now and then. I feel special. Okay. Thank you to our residents for coming out. Thank you to the mayor and our council members. I was able to attend, I attended a Halloween event. I attended a food giveaway with Church of Bethesda. I attended the MML training and I attended the NLC training. And I was especially glad to do the NLC training. That's my first trip, long distance trip since I've been council member. And I attended with Councilmember Brown and Councilmember Dixon, and they were awesome. I didn't know if I was gonna make it on that plane. But I did. I made it, and I truly enjoyed myself. Great learning experience. I truly value that learning, even with the MML. So that's my report. I hope you all have a safe Thanksgiving, and I hope to see you again.
Great. Thank you so much, Councilmember McBride, for that report. Next, we'll move down the dais to Councilmember Blunt.
Hello, and I want to give a shout out to the staff. And thank y'all so much. Y'all do so much. I tell you, y'all do. Thank you anyway. I will use y'all as long as I can for doing my little stuff. I love it. Anyways, just a short report. I want to remind everyone that the senior gala is December 12th from 11 to 2. Please show up in your red and white, your heels if you have them. I'm not saying anything. I'm not turning my head, but wear your heels. Do what you do. Again, you don't have to wear red and white, but still come and show up to be around other seniors, having fun and mingling, meeting people and all that good stuff, music, food, and fun. And the officers will be serving. I forgot to ask you, Chief, would you serve? But no, the officers will be serving again this year. So, but yeah, please show up to the, if you just learning about it and you have a friend, please bring a friend in the building, let them know that to call Ray and register or sign up in the senior buildings. There is transportation. I also would like to just ask people, if you out there and you have family members, visit a senior building or nursing home to give someone else care, because this is a time when they're really lonely, watching other people, family members, bring them gift and love on. Please find someone to love on. It's a lot of seniors who really need you all. So please reach out to other seniors. And again, happy Thanksgiving. Eat safely and responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Blunt, for your report. Councilmember Dixon, you had an addition to your report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to remind the residents about our Bladensburg Thanksgiving distribution meal this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Bladensburg High School. Feel free to come on out, grab your meal. Don't forget to bring your ID. You can also register online. You can scan the QR code, or you can just call the town hall. Thanks. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Dixon. And then I'll wrap up quickly. So October was another busy month, and I do have a written report for the residents to read. Several Bladensburg Day meetings were had because we are bringing that event back after it's been dormant for a few years. Last year in 2023, we had it at the high school and wanted to do a better job with it this year, added the parade component. So thank you to everyone, as was previously stated, who was a part of it, from staff to all the vendors, our resident and DJ Flavor from WKYS, to all the elected officials who were part of the parade. It was just remarkable. And as Councilmember Brown said, we look forward to having it bigger and better next year. As was mentioned, we did have our legislative open house on October 11th. So we had representatives from our county, state, and federal officials. It was mainly their chief of staffs who attended, but it gave a great opportunity to explain our legislative priorities, to also explain to them the financial asks that we're coming to them for, and then to end the meeting with a tour of the Bostwick House, since that's a huge capital budget request that we have. And so what was unique is, rather than just sitting in this room and meeting, to be able to take them to the Bostwick House, answer questions, let them walk through it. It helped us get more support for the